Travis Wingate, so we'll do an hour recording, see where we are, and see if I have to go running. In the state of Utah, there have been many Mormons who have embellished their resumes. They lied, claiming to be an expert in a particular field or skilled with certain things in order to get the job. And then they get exposed as frauds, and then they get criminally prosecuted. It is especially criminal when you're in expert fields that concern life and death. Like, you cannot lie about being a police officer. You cannot lie about being a lawyer. You cannot lie about being a medical doctor. You cannot be somebody that you're not. It's a criminal operation that flourishes in the state of Utah. People who get PhDs fraudulently. Right, Todd? Pulling the religion card because they didn't do the work or didn't do it correctly. I am the only human on earth left who is the expert on the Old Testament, the ancient Middle East. And in our current culture of social media, the majority of people have been deceived into following people who are not experts, to pursue those who are entertaining, who give a good presentation, who are fakes and frauds. And that is disturbing that mankind fall for this crap. But Kirsten Walker-Smith does a faith-promoting YouTube channel on a field of study that she knows nothing about. She uses the church's own manual as her guide to claim to be an expert in the field. And so she summed up the entire Old Testament in 7 minutes and has 11K views 2 days. For some reason, people choose to be stupid rather than to pursue science, to do research, to trust the people who are the experts in the field. Kirsten, if your 7-minute, 30-second video did not include the law of the Jews, you're wrong. If your video did not include the law, chapter 18, verses 15 through 19 of the Jews, you're wrong. Verse 15. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee of thy brethren like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken. This is a human, a future prediction of a human by a Jewish seer, prophet, revelator, and translator of Paleo-Hebrew and Egyptian. Talking about the keys of the man like Moses. And if Kirsten referenced this, she should have referenced Joseph Smith History 1 verse 40, which is in the footnotes of that very same Jewish law passage that summed up the whole Old Testament in just one quick reading. Joseph Smith says that prophet is our Christ, but he had not been born yet. But Mormons in the future who would not hear his voice should be cut off. Now that's a curious study topic, because Joseph Smith is referring to the Acts version, not the Deuteronomy version. But the Acts version does not have cut off. It's the Book of Mormon version that has cut off. From among the people that soon would come. Well, crap. The leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have been lying to us this whole time, and it was a quick 2-verse video. The leaders of the church are not the experts in the field of leading the church. They're frauds, false prophets. I wonder if they're the enemy that shall come and burn us. All the prophets. Just as the Book of Mormon itself says, it's also written in the learning of the Jews too, which means it follows the law of the Jews about the man like Moses. And wouldn't you know it, there's a whole bunch of Exodus themes throughout the Book of Mormon referring to Moses and the Exodus. Joseph Smith, likewise, the one mighty and strong, the man like Moses. Yep. It ain't Jesus, guys. So, Kirsten, if you referred to Jesus in your 7-minute, 30-second video, you're wrong. You are a false prophetess, lying to the 11,000, deceiving them. And Joseph Smith warned you, don't be deceived by false teachers. Section 28, and section 43 especially. This is to the elders of the church. Do not receive the teachings of any that come before you as revelations or commandments. And this I give unto you, that you may not be deceived, that you may know they are not of me. Only that future Mormon, who is the Jewish Christ, are Mormons to hearken to. Anything contrary to this is a lie. So, did you know that that man like Moses is here? That he's been trying to communicate to Mormons? But YouTube and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has been shutting him up and censoring him and silencing him and trying to murder him. Now, why would they do? Oh, right, they're false. Did that ever occur to you? When he comes, as Joseph Smith prophesied of in his vision, what did you think the enemy was going to do? Just let him be? Did the enemy let Joseph be? Nope, the enemy had him assassinated. And they lied about him. So what do you think they're going to do to the latter days Mormon? It never occurred to you, huh? This is all foreign, therefore it's wrong? Because you don't feel good about it? You feel better listening to Kirsten? Let's get some of this other stuff out of the way. My cook video had no thumbs down on it. A whole day without thumbs down. That's strange. That's an anomaly. What happened to the guy who always puts a thumbs down on every single video? That was a quick video to do. And you missed it? Nonetheless. And apparently, according to KUTV2 News Utah, there's heavy drinking going on at daycare that Governor Cox is going to fix. They oopsied and put the no alcohol for DUI people over the Cox doing an investigation on daycare centers because of the Mormon who did the YouTube video that got 2 million views exposing the financial fraud of Somalis. And a certain congresswoman and a former candidate for vice president in their state of Minnesota. A Mormon. Because he got popular on social media, the government is stepping in and doing something. Because he got popular, it got exposed. Plus, it also benefits the MAGA Trump agenda. Kind of helpful these days. But did you know that this Mormon, whom is getting shut down, silenced, censored, and abused unto potential death, being the keys of Moses to lead the church rather than the frauds that lead it, who is a seer, who is a prophet, who is a revelator, who is a translator of Paleo-Hebrew and Egyptian, which means he had to decipher them because nobody else did. There are people who claim they did, and they got it wrong. S-P-R-T. Spirit. What a coincidence. Did you know that that Mormon predicted the future with the calendar dates and clock times of the deaths this year? This is the last day of the year. Of Nelson and Holland. Nope. Because his content has been suppressed. So the Mormon exposed Minnesota, but the Mormon who called out in advance the deaths of leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, nobody knows about. The one who's here to save Mormons who listen to him, or else they get cut off. And the majority of Mormons worldwide don't even know he's here, let alone know that he's supposed to exist. Kirsten doesn't know. If she did not include the Mormon in her 7-minute, 30-second video, she's wrong. Because Joseph Smith, by referring to Acts and the Book of Mormon version, especially the law version, all must talk about them in their scriptures. So as I've gone over with you from Joseph Smith's translation of Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 and 7, it is a calendar date and clock time, Revelation, of future prophecies, predictions of the future, all rolled up in a scripture called a vision. In Paleo Hebrew and Egyptian. Spirit. Thus it requires the Spirit to understand it. The Spirit by which it was written. This year, I've been into extra overdrive, and most of it is because of Stanford. Last December, he had inquired about the latter days prophecy of the sons of Levi offering up again in righteousness. Offering. So that triggered his studies that just happened to coincide with the events on Earth during this time. And I was able to go over it with you. You know, since I'm the expert and all. There were Peruvian shaman who yesterday predicted the illness, death of Trump for 2026. They got more views than the Mormon who predicted the coming deaths of both Nelson and Holland. Catching on to a pattern here? Mormons are being led astray. Mormons are being deceived to prevent them from knowing the truth. The enemy is winning. You have faith crises because you did not have correct faith to start with. If you had correct faith, you would not have a faith crisis. You would just go, oh, I ran the test, it's not true. So now I gotta find the right seed to run the test with to find out if it's true. Word. Know a false prophet by their fruits. Any of this ringing a bell? Why are you religious if you don't even know your scriptures? These are basic scriptures that even Christians know. I exposed over my 10,000 videos, going on 10 years, wrapping up 9. Because it was November 4th, 2016 when my YouTube channel theme changed. At that moment, I knew we were in the latter days. Because of the sign in the heavens that Fox 13 News Utah said was going to happen on the 21st of August 2017. So I rushed out with what I had restored for my Paleo-Hebrew research and started focusing on the signs in the heavens. And then come that it's actually 2017 in November, before Thanksgiving, I think. It was still a couple of weeks away from the lesson on the assassination of Joseph Smith. A neighbor had informed me that there were 2 pistols that Joseph Smith had. I only knew of the one from my 3rd great-grandfather, John Solomon Foner. There are certain historical facts of the church that the Fulmer family knew that apparently nobody else in the church knew. You know, Joseph Smith wasn't a polygamist. It was Brigham Young who sealed him to all those women by proxy after his death in the undedicated Nauvoo temple. And so, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is not what they're portraying it as in the public eye. They're lying to you. They're deceiving Mormons even. Mormons apparently are too stupid or knowingly evil to admit this. We are not Christian. We are the Order of Dan, the Son of God. But to avoid the too frequent repetition of the name Dan, we, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, use the name Jesus. Yep, Brigham Young and his Order of the Danites, physically putting to rights what they deem as not right, having purged Joseph Smith's church with his blood. That's the temple blood oath atonement. And they are using that same temple blood oath atonement to coup the United States of America. 200-year-old plot. I exposed that Mormons are a paid up to be celibate in all forms, to pay for sex as a prostitution occult, of sex trafficking in harems. The millennium resumes polygamy. All you young'uns are creating your own Mormonism. But we're not there yet. We got a whole bunch more on the list of things that I've exposed. Financial crimes of all kinds. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, formed by Brigham Young on the 6th of February, 1851, in the territory of Utah, claimed to be the state of Deseret, because remember, they're coupping the government, was shut down by the United States of America with the Edmunds-Tucker Act of 1887 because of tithing crimes. Yeah, it wasn't because of polygamy. It was because of the tithing crimes aggravating the polygamy. We are not a legitimate religion. We never reincorporated. There's a corporation for the disincorporated religion, but that's for more resuming financial crimes. Hoarding money to finance terrorism. instead of Brigham Young's creating a whole kingdom to go up against the United States 200 years later. Ooh. And because they employ Constantine's first creed on the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith's visions, Mormons are now anti-science, anti-truth, and anti-logic, just like Christians. But we're the Order of Dan instead. Shh, don't tell, or they'll murder you. Everything is a lie. There is nothing true. They quote the scriptures and then botch the interpretation and or translation, depending on where they're getting the scripture from. Changing definitions of words so that nothing they say is true. And so anybody who dares to molest or make afraid this church are murdered and destroyed. There will be no apostates. There will be no whistleblowers. And so they push feelings over investigation, study, research, science. From Nazi Germany's psychologists, feelings, nothing more than feelings. Trying to forget that you're in the great and abominable church of Lucifer. They rewrite church history. And when they get exposed, they rewrite it again. And when they get exposed, they rewrite it again. And when they get exposed, they rewrite it again. To cover up and to justify their corruption. And this kind of behavior is what's classified as a hate group of white supremacist Christian nationalism. Outwardly professing what inwardly they are not. So 2025, after 2024 exposing the church as criminal deviants of murder and mayhem, the younger generation of Mormons took to social media to try to break out of that mold, to show people we're normal. We're not weird. We don't wear our underwear when we shower and bathe or have sex. We don't wear our... We're normal. We do soft swinging. We call our mixed sodas dirty. We're normal. Leave us alone. Join our church and pay for the free atonement. We've got far more than 50 because the top 50 are Mormon women in porn. We're normal. Mormons. If you only knew what I knew. If you'd only at least attempted to study even 100th portion of what I've studied. have that. That's right. That was, yeah, last night as I was going to bed. That's why I wanted to find out about the moons of Jupiter. 5. The 4 Galileans, and then the ring. Rings. Rings are from a shattered planet. Moon. Orbital. Similar to the asteroid belt. There used to be a planet that shattered and is now the asteroid belt, similar to the rings of Jupiter, etc., etc. 5 planets orbiting Jupiter. So since I brought it up, we'll carry it and continue it. I am also the one who pointed out to you guys that with Joseph Smith's decoder ring in Joseph Smith translation, Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 and 7, that Virgo, as the woman, is the church, Joseph's church. That there are 2 churches that would be Joseph's church, because Joseph Smith knew that he would be murdered and his church stolen and altered. Did to the Jews. The Jews called it the abomination of desolation. The altering of the temple and the prostituting of women through the payment of tithing to get into the temple, to get married, to have sex. The abomination of desolation. I bet Kirsten doesn't talk about it, or Kristen, whatever her name is, in her 7-minute, 30-second video. All experts in the field know about the abomination of desolation of the Greeks. Nonetheless, so any scripture where there are women, it's the church. So Oakes, he knew this. He talked about the parable of the 10 virgins. Obviously, it represents members of the church. It's kind of disturbing that 50% of you are apostates and are going to have to be physically put to rights with Armageddon burning. They ran a test run in 2020 and 2021. I know the majority of Mormons know about that leak, because it was Mormons who got popular with it. You didn't listen to the man like Moses, who covered it all this year. And so Joseph Smith tells us in section 45, verse 56, that the parable of the 10 virgins is a calendar date and clock time of the start of the latter days of the 11 years, 2014 to 2015. Or 2025. That was a tetrad, which was incomplete. I had to step in and fix it. Nonetheless, I still bought his book because of the information that was correct in it, though incomplete. wrong interpretation. But nonetheless, and so I also have gone over with you how Joseph Smith, knowing these calendar dates and clock times that no man is supposed to know, in Abraham, chapter 1, verses 11 and 12. So 3 virgins offered up on the altar for lunar eclipses of the 10 virgins and their dates and clock times. Verse 12 is the 21st of August 2017, the solar eclipse in the constellation of Leo, the lion couch, at the star Apostolic Interregnum. And you didn't leave the church after that? What, because you don't know Latin? Dear God. I even called it out before they said it at conference. Doing the pretty pictures, and nobody saw it. Just because you didn't see it doesn't mean you can justify claiming it's false. That's a fallacy argument. That denies logic. So yes, going back to Jupiter, who is that very man-child of Revelation chapter 12, whom Joseph Smith says is our Christ, a Mormon, born out of Joseph's church. Wouldn't you know it, 5 moons that follow him. Can you guess which set of 5 virgins they are? I'm sure they're the foolish, because mercy can rob justice. Exactly. All the ancients knew. Apparently they knew when Jupiter had a 5th planet, not broken up as the rings of Jupiter. That's also impressive. Not to mention the calendar date and clock time for the 21st of August 2017 was known to the ancient Egyptians long before 4000 BCE. Long before. Because it's referred to in the pyramid texts, which are the oldest full document. Not little inscriptions, but those two. It's on the Narmer palette. I refer to it on that old stone tablet. They know. They knew. And they were telling about it all over the tomb walls, all over the temple walls. They knew. And all Mormons had to do was study their Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith. Oops. Sucks to be a Mormon. Sucks to be Kristen Walker Smith. Oh, but she's cute as a married woman, right? Because you wouldn't be single and therefore evil, disobeying the living prophets of Jesus, would you, Kirsten? Which would explain your Smith name, right? Rather than Walker as your maiden name, right? You wouldn't be wicked, would you? Like the little kids these days trying to be normal. So disturbing. But this has precedent in the church. We're repeating history, by the way, in case you didn't know. The Danites love to run test runs over and over again. So back in early church history, Joseph Smith founds the church 6th of April, 1830. Book of Mormon is to warn the world, and especially America, about the coming coup plot 200 years later. And so missionary work is the method by which to get the Book of Mormon out to people. Those who believe in the Book of Mormon's message, learning of the Jews, language of the Egyptians, not Christian Jesus, are supposed to join the church and study the words of the Book of Mormon to learn of the coming of their Christ, a Mormon, that they might be the designated lotto winner for. Because if he's a Mormon, there has to be a Mormon genealogy going back to Joseph Smith's founding. Who could it be? Who could it be? I want to be it. Oh, I don't think you're the right sperm for me. I'm going to try my luck with this sperm. If only Mormons back then knew that. See, the Jews knew this. They knew it back in the Roman period time. And so, yes, they were all wondering, is my immaculate conception going to produce the Christ? I didn't have sex out of marriage. No, not at all. It's immaculate. Even Dr. House, he's a medical doctor. He knows these things. He showed it to the pre-Lois Lane girl. She didn't have sex with her boyfriend. There's no way she could be pregnant. No way at all. Sure enough, it's true. Best of the episodes. The Christmas episode. But they really had me concerned about the one character who they killed off with a suicide. I was like, oh crap, did he actually commit suicide? Are we going to have no more Harold and Kumars? Oh crap, what happened to him? Is he gone? Is he dead? What happened? Oh crap. It's okay, he's working for Obama. They just decided to kill him off in the episode instead of having him go work for Obama. Nonetheless. So I don't know, maybe we're going to have another Harold and Kumar. Harold and Kumar escape Venezuela. On a drug boat. get to White Castle before it closes. Goes out of business. I'm running out of time. So, missionaries are going out with the Book of Mormon. People are reading it and saying, hey, okay, cool, I'll join. With the Book of Mormon. Because they know how to read, and they know it says, learning of the Jews, language of the Egyptians. They're not reading, pondering, and praying to get the right feeling. In 1832 in April, Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball joined to destroy Joseph. They go and immediately convert all the disgruntled Scottish Rites Illuminati in America that want revenge on whoever snuck William Morgan out of the country after 9/11, 1826 in Canandaigua Lodge, Ontario County, number 23, where the Master Mason was Joseph Smith Sr. They want revenge. Where are those 116 pages? They go around as missionaries now without the Book of Mormon. They are converting, and the people stay where they are around the world to gather to the church around the world scattered, thinking they're Christian, that it's a Jesus church. No Book of Mormon, no man like Moses to lead the church, no seer, prophet, revelator, translator, because the spirit is dead. Faith without works is Nelson and Holland. Anybody catch that? No? Nobody watches, huh? Faith without works is magic. And so Joseph Smith again blasphemes Christianity by building a temple, Kirtland Temple, and gathers the Mormons to Zion in similitude of the Latter-day Gathering that is supposed to take place by the future Mormon, running a test run to see who would be gathered. And the Christians come. And they're going, oh, what the hell? Book of Mormon, a Bible, we have got a Bible and we need no more Bible. A temple, a seer, prophet, revelator, translator of Paleo, Hebrew, and Egyptian with the keys of Moses, Doctrine and Covenants, and we're not Christian, and the name of the church is the Church of the Latter-day Saints? Oh, hell no. And they rose up in violence, threatened to assassinate Joseph Smith and Sidney Rigdon, who had to flee. The Danites, in the meantime, took out loans from the Kirtland Safety Society and didn't pay them back. So there's an economic crisis at the same time as the Christian Mormons are rising up in rebellion. There are a group of them that form the Old Standard Church of Christ to what they thought they were joining. The Danites now are in charge of the remaining Mormons who didn't go back to Christian roots. And they take them in an exodus to set them up for another war against Missouri this time. Adam, Ondi, Amen. It's their test run time. So yes, Joseph Smith gets framed and blamed and locked up in Liberty Jail. Brigham Young takes over the church, purging those Mormons who came in an exodus. We're the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We are the Order of Dan. We murder, rob, rape, and destroy. Joseph Smith got out and then was assassinated. So, for the latter days, they didn't believe that there would be a Mormon who would be this guy. They don't believe in the gifts and powers of seer, prophet of later, and especially translator, because they don't even claim the title. And yet, here we are. And so this church, this whole time, have been the Danites, but sending out the Book of Mormon this time, but claiming it's Christian. As the missionaries are told to go to 3rd Nephi chapter 11, see Jesus. He doesn't need a white horse from outer space in Revelation 19. And then, boom, right to Moroni. Chapter 10, verses 3 through 5. Spiritual witness feelings. See? Just ignore manifest the truth. Bye. It's a spiritual witness feeling. Don't you feel it? Keep praying until you do. And then we'll resume your payment of tithing to us with baptism and the temple covenants of doom. Yeah. I exposed it all, even though every Mormon should have known it. So Mormons of the younger generation are now creating their own Mormonism in the eyes of the world, with the taking away of certain things from the temple. Sort of. These younger generations are clueless. They don't realize what real Mormonism is. And so they think Mormonism is really cool and awesome. Don't you want to join? Oh, I'm going to put emotional guilt trips on you if you don't accept us and join. We're normal. Don't you want to swing with us? And those were just the top. And Holly wasn't even on the list. 50. God. But yeah, that's why the church did their whole porn ban and blacklisting of adults, claiming it's to protect children. BS. It's to keep Mormons from knowing that Mormons are doing porn. Trying to stop the Mormons from doing porn. That are in Utah, at least. That's why some of them, the FSU girl, I figured that was Florida State University. There were some from Britain. I did my research. But yeah, there's ulterior motives behind what the church orders our Utah legislature to do. So, alrighty. So yes, this is a Mormonism that is not Mormonism. It's not based on reality. It's not what the prophets are telling you at the pulpit of conference, kids. You're not listening. And so yes, the church has a big surprise for Mormons, as again, they will purge this church one final time, just like they did in 1838. Because they've sucked at assassinating that future Mormon. Because they didn't believe he would come, even though they talked about him. They knew about him. They covered it up in the scriptures so that you wouldn't know. And yet. So put that over there. Okay. Alrighty, I'll be back. Russia, Russia, Russia. With the two churches within Mormonism, thus the two leaders, Jupiter will be leaving Gemini. On April 14th, it makes its move. No longer to be in Gemini. It heads out to Cancer, to retrograde there for a pregnancy period. And then the Leo, and then to the woman, the virgin, that keeps getting immaculately conceived over and over again. There's no way I can be pregnant. There's no way. It's not possible. You have to have sex in order to get pregnant. So, that's shortly after, I think a week after the final day, or the second to final day of Passover, the Exodus. Just saying. Just saying. So we'll see. Will there be 5 wise virgins who will go with Jupiter? Just saying. Mormons don't believe. Mormons don't even know to know. So how will they know? He's not popular. Hey, the Book of Mormon says he won't be popular either. What do you know? So did Isaiah. So did all the Jews who obey the law. So yeah, the first story in Genesis, chapter 1, and technically continued into chapter 2, because all scholars get this wrong. It comes from the Egyptian Heliopolis creation glyph. But to put it in simple terms for you at a basic level, where you're all at. The waters are parted, the dry land appears. And the man like Moses takes the house of Israel into the promised land. Ta-da! Everybody follows the same pattern in their stories. It's all about the Mormon. Kristen does not know that. She is not the expert. She is reading from the church's manual to be faith promoting. She's an expert on reading manuals. Can you imagine that? Putting that on your resume? I read manuals at my church. So can I get into the CEO position now? You know, it would be great if she found out because somebody narked on me. Travis said. And that she would stop and go, you know what? I am a fraud. I am just reading from the manual and doing a YouTube video on it and have led astray over 11,000 videos of people, viewers. I need to find out who this guy is because nobody linked him to me. And then she, says, oops, I've been doing wrong. And then she changes her whole channel to say, hey, our Mormon Christ is here. Listen to him. He predicted the deaths of Nelson and Holland before it happened. He knew that Monson died in Revelation chapter 12, verse 4. This weekend, memorial services. Remembrance weekend at 10:01 p.m. Or, as they reported for Nelson, shortly after 10. They know me, in case you're that stupid to believe that the church didn't cover up and hide Mormon women doing porn. Okay, let's wrap her up with the news. So yeah, the police are doing a half-hearted job. Dear God. It's code blue time. Hell froze over after Holland died. So it's code blue weather, which means the police need to clear the streets every single night. And half-hearted job. But at least the homeless are smart. They position themselves at the getaway point when the cops come to bust them. Just like for Operation Rio Grande, police thought it was so brilliant. Oh, this legislature, he's inspired by Jesus. It's the most brilliant thing ever. Just lock him up in prison. We'll clear the Salt Lake County Jail. Yep, they'll all confess that Jesus is the Christ, begin paying tithing, getting a real job, pulling themselves up by their own bootstraps. Whole problem fixed. Brilliant idea. Yeah, the police come in, they scatter. problem made worse. And the legislature goes, mission accomplished. As border fences, security guards, and security cameras, and guns blazing for the 1 to 2 employees. To tell the homeless there are no resources for you. Oh, dear God. So, if the Bible ain't literal history, guess what that means, Mormons? The Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith are not literal history. 3 Nephi chapter 7 was supposed to be the test run here. Now, Oaks did not get leaked as to why he did a test run, if it was because of me, or if after 200 years of planning, they just decided, screw the plan, let's just run a test. Oh my God. Nonetheless, this was supposed to be 2020. Now got bumped to 2025. They did it in reverse. 2020, and then the election, and then the carryover to finish it off in the 2021 year. Instead, 2024 begins with the election, carries over into all of 2025. And I almost forgot, although I do have it on this paper. But we will need to bring it up on the screen for me. I'm so excited. There's Albert Pike confirming that the Danites are true. For Strengthening Church Members Committee. How they physically put to rights that which they deem is not right. And there was Holland. Was it one of my videos, Holland, or was it all of them? Or was it a combination? Did Todd fail again? Did he fail? Okay, I'm not finding it immediately. George of the jungle, friend to you and me. Watch out for that tree. Sisters of Fatima. The Russian nukes. George of the jungle, friend to you and me. Come on. Very interesting. After all those videos, Holland dies, and then Sunday I get cyber attacked. By a human who programmed the systems. Yeah, I noticed Smith's is back up and running again, too. God damn. Oh, you're swearing, Travis. It's a title, and it's biblical. Bleep you, you hater. Alright, so back to the scriptures. Now behold, I will show unto you that they did not establish a king over the land, but in the same year, yea, the 30th year, 2020, they did destroy upon the judgment seat, yea, did murder the Chief Justice Roberts of the land. And the people were divided one against another, MAGA and Antifa, and did separate one from another into their political tribes for the states. And thus they did destroy the federal government of the land. Every state appointed a leader over them as governor to be president of the Confederate States or the Antifa states, communist or fascist. They did yield themselves unto the power of oaks, and the regulations of the federal government were destroyed because of the secret combination of the friends of the Confederates and the kindreds of the Danites who murdered Joseph Smith and Hiram. It didn't quite work out during the test run. Marjorie Taylor Greene led the charge for "Biden is not our president, secede from the nation." It did not follow through. The Capitol coup did not finish. They did not hang Mike Pence. They did not prevent the transfer of authority to the new King Moses. Yeah, exact same pattern. But we're not a theocracy in America. We have a separation of religion and government for a very good reason. And so, a dualistic fulfillment. This is the great and abominable church, as well as the United States of America. Of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So, the vice president, or the one who survived, claiming he's the king, because it appears that this was supposed to be the ending term of our president, that it was two new people running for the first time. Mitt Romney lost. America wanted a black man over a Mormon. And so Mitt Romney almost got sacrificed on the altar of blood atonement. Hanged next to Mike Pence. Should be hung. Stupid Brits, what do they know about English? Nonetheless, this is the 200-year-old plot that they changed for a test run. So was it because of me, or was it because Mitt Romney lost and Oaks failed to get in to be the Chief Justice, to be murdered? Or to be the one to murder the Chief Justice? If for some reason Oaks didn't get selected, and being the oldest in the Supreme Court, we'll never know, because that's not how it happened. No sense in speculating, but being aware of what was intended as a preparation. It goes to motive, technically intent, not motive. They intended to coup. So even if they fail to coup, they're still an insurrectionist couper. Equal crime, equal punishment. They're just losers for failure. So we know this because 4 years later is the sign of Revelation 19, verses 11, 17, and everywhere where there's lamb. 8 April 2024. Notice that a group of Nephites who survived were gathered at the temple. built the temple, and that their Christ was among them the whole time, and then finally they go, oh, wait, it's you. Oh, it's you. We want to be normal. We're normal. Soft swinging and porn. Normal. So, notice how we're repeating that year. So, yeah, somewhere in the pile. There's a pattern match for what Trump had tried at the beginning and failed, and is doing again and failed, and is trying to set up again for the new year. And so Trump tried to shut down the Corporate Financial Protections Bureau, or whatever title it is. It was created in 2008 in response to my prediction of the coming economic collapse. I was a postman for Draper, where the houses all fell off the cliff. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm sure the geologists who were consulted made sure to do a geological survey to make sure that it was okay to build there. Boy, was I naive. Nonetheless, I saw the coming economic collapse because it was the new subdivisions. And so I saw the rise, and then I saw that they couldn't afford to pay their bills, and they left. That is the first warning sign of the canaries dying in the coal mine. And I, in my petition for redress of grievances with the state of Utah, I put that warning in there. They chose not to listen to me, and consequences followed. Right, D. Todd Christofferson? Bastard. And so by Trump trying to shut that down, he's intentionally trying to cause an economic collapse. Oh, he's making America great again. Is he? He is doing what the Council for National Policy has been telling him to do. Project 2025, Heritage Foundation, yeah, all from that group who's cooing America for the kingdom of Jesus. But oops, they are the muscle for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the Order of Dan. But to avoid the too frequent repetition of the name Dan, they, the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, use the name Jesus to fool Christians too. In 1981 they began, led by the guy who did the Left Behind series. So guess what their intention is. So yeah, all of this is to force the coming of Jesus Christ, as the dumb ones believe. Roman Emperor Constantine, 1700 years ago. The Pope finally came out and confessed 4 months late. I'd been telling you the whole year, even into last year, pay attention. Is the Pope going to talk about it? Is the Pope going to explain and confess? Is he? Oh, he's dead. Will the new Pope do it? Will he? Oh, it came and went. He's too busy telling Israel to lay down their arms and surrender to extinction. Bastard Pope. Chicago. Trump. Nonetheless, people are in fields where they do not belong and are not qualified. Nonetheless, he confessed. Sure enough, Travis was right. He watches my channel, just like the cops watch my channel. Sort of. Just like the church watches my channel. You can be rest assured, downtown Salt Lake at Temple Square will be cleared out of all homeless people. The lieutenant was on the news last night telling us we're going to make sure nobody illegal is here. We're going to protect and serve. Tried to make it as if he's not Mormon. Whatever. You know damn well what's going on. And so, fortunately, a judge ruled against Trump. This is what Trump, oh my God, Trump, seriously. This is why he's failed all this year. He's purposely building up. He wants other people to cause so that he then can be justified. And it's just not working as his plans were. And those who are his puppet masters are getting pissed with him, and that's the whole Epstein leak thing. They're reminding him to hurry up. But he has to restore all his billions that was stolen with the fake election. He's number 46 too. This is going to be his 4th term in 2028, not 3rd. Don't you see the baseball cap? There's a dash. It's not and. So yes, Trump is trying to destroy the United States of America, destroy the federal government, hand over authority to the states to run themselves independently. Everything independent. No reliance on other states, no reliance on the federal government. And all this year, Trump failed. And the states, for the most part, have not caught on to this. They're not understanding that Trump is shutting down the federal government. No more federal benefits. No more federal funding. No more federal agencies. All gone. So yes, he's now destroying all of the historical landmarks in D.C. All the federal buildings also going, not just the East Wing. Is it the East Wing? Not the West Wing, the East Wing. For the ballroom. Yeah, he's destroying everything. Tearing down the agencies, shutting them all down, shutting off all funding, and destroying all buildings. This is what he was put in to do. And so he gets away with what he gets away with, and he lets others think that he's a taco on others. But he's taking too long this time, because he could have crushed us right after his inauguration. And he failed, and Nelson had to come out. I don't know the day and the hour of the coming of Jesus anymore. I thought I knew it was in the coming day. When you know your enemy, you can mock them for their failure. So, whole bunch of setting up for fights are coming. China, Russia, Iran, America, Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, West Bank, Somalia, the Islamic State, generally. Saudi Arabia versus the UAE. Ooh, the church was playing both sides on that one. Thailand versus Cambodia, Pakistan versus Afghanistan. And Russian nukes have now been delivered to Belarus. So, just like in Nigeria, the church played both sides, funding Islamic terrorism of Nigeria to attack Christians in Nigeria, and Trump went and bombed them. Likewise with Venezuela. The church has been funding Venezuela. We've got temples in Venezuela. We have a whole bunch of Mormons in Venezuela. We had that incident where the Venezuelans kidnapped a returned missionary going back to get his wife, who he converted on his mission. And they had a child, at least. And Trump saved them, and he brought them to the Oval Office because Hatch stepped in for the church to get them back. Being accused of having weapons of mass murder as a terrorist. All those weapons in the closet just magically appeared. They got him. So, nope, Hatch to the rescue and rescued him. And he was there in the Oval Office, and he didn't appreciate Trump as he needed to. Nonetheless, we have a history with Venezuela. And so at the beginning of this year, Trump says, oh, the Venezuelan gangs are here in America. We need to send out ICE to get them. That's why ICE is in the streets. They're getting the illegals, the criminals, the drug lords, the gangs. And 60%, as we've now found out, have never committed a crime in their life. I told you! You weren't listening. You didn't believe me. And so yes, by hyping up the Venezuelan gangs, he then changed and called it Antifa, and drugs, and terrorists, so that he can avoid the law, so that he can avoid Congress to declare war. See, he's not going to war against a country. He's going after drug dealers and terrorists. So he doesn't need Congress's approval to go on land. But same situation with Nigeria. Trump bombed Venezuela too. It has begun. And the church funded Venezuela just as they funded Nigeria, and Trump has bombed them both. with all of this escalating wars, Idaho chick brought to my attention a prophecy by George Albert Smith to his ward. And one such little boy at the time grew up to remember that and wrote it all down. And then it was referred to me by Idaho chick. So he told the little group of members that were in his ward that there would be a nuclear attack for the day that shall burn as an oven, and that it would take place on a holiday after the new president was elected. Oops, they ran a test run instead. Failure. There are only 3 holidays after a presidential election, because I don't think Veterans Day counts. Isn't it Veterans Day after on the 14th or something like that of November? Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. And so I did this for you before Thanksgiving, and then it came and went, and so I reminded you it came and went. So now we have Christmas and New Year's. Christmas came and went, and then Holland came and went. So not for Christmas either. But Trump bombed Nigeria on Christmas. Not the same. This is nuclear. So the Sisters of Fatima are also in play, but Russia gave Belarus some nukes. Iran is threatening a nuclear holocaust now. Did I mention Iran on this list? Yeah, Iran's on the list, whether I said it or not. Here we go. The final holiday. And everything is escalated. Trump has now bombed Venezuela, hoping to provoke them to a war. Bay of Pigs. Hey, was that a test run too then? Yeah, so was Nazi Germany. So yes, that's why we brought over psychologists into Utah to run human experimentations on the Mormons. They're all mentally retarded. Even the president of our church is normal as mentally retarded with tardive dyskinesia from the drugs he's taking that's taking away his life, so that he's now weakened at Bernie's, mostly dead. I'm paying very close attention to this weekend. I'm really hoping something will happen, because Mormons need to be woken up from their normal lives. We're normal. Want to come swinging with us? Because we're normal. We do porn. We're normal. We went on missions, but we're normal. We do porn. It's the Book of Mormon. We prayed and got the right feeling. We're normal. Oh, God. So yes, there's a list of countries that would be involved. Europe, Germany, Hungary, Israel, Turkey, United States, Soviet Union, as well as a few others. And so yeah, they're all involved. Not so much Hungary as Belarus. But, So, yeah, NATO also got involved. NATO, I think, was after World War II, so he might not have known about NATO. Let me see when NATO was organized. Because this was October 1947 when he gave it, according to the Mormon who reported on it. So yeah, Bruce R. McConkie was the big nuker, saying that the second coming of Jesus would be the nukes. And there was other Mormons who said, no! Let's get to Wikipedia. 1949, yeah, 2 years later. So he didn't know about NATO then. Yep. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So Putin is bombing NATO, but has been sending in drones into Eastern European countries, not the Eastern European, but east or west of the Eastern European countries, to try to provoke them to attack so that Putin can then claim to be the victim. Oh, you attacked me! I'm innocent! Drones are not innocents, dumbass. You know better than that, Putin. Come on. They're not stupid. I mean, sure, they're not KGB officers like you were. But still, come on, Putin. Have you not gotten the word yet about what your letter Z means? Did they not tell you yet? It's real simple. All you guys had to do was ask. Constantine's Cairo. It was right there the whole time. So, pay attention to that for tomorrow. Because the world is shutting down New Year's celebrations out of fear of a terrorist attack. Not New York. They're going through with it. Blizzard and all. They put in new crystals. Should go out with a bang. Too soon? Dear God, New York. Peter Paulino was lost on 9/11. Knew him on my mission in the Bronx. And to know that it was the church with that Council for National Policy that caused it. Getting Saudi Arabian ICE, Islamic terrorists, Islamic State terrorists, to do the dirty work for them. And my mom, still to her dying breath, believed it was Saddam Hussein. Oh, dear God. Alright, so Utah is planning increased car pollution. Yeah, with Trump, he shut down the electric car thing. Thus, we're back to increasing pollution. Remember, he's destroying things. It's what he does. That's why he was appointed and called and chosen to be president for Jesus. Many are called, but few are chosen. And why they are not chosen? It's because they're not criminals by nature. Dear God. See, nobody in their right mind would ever crash a gambling casino in Atlanta. But that's not what he was using it for. That's why it crashed. It was for money laundering, which you can still do, but Trump. So, Lake Powell has dropped 36 feet this year. Parting of the waters, the dry land appears, walking through on dry ground to the promised land, with the man like Moses who's a Mormon. Told you last year it was coming again, after finding out 2020 and 2021 was a test run. And yeah, I parted the waters then too. Dear God, Mormons, what does it take for you to finally believe? And seriously, utter destruction, I guess. But then it's too late. And so yeah, I already talked about Cox sending in baby ice to investigate the daycare drinking. That was originally going to be the thumbnail picture. Not anymore. And George Clooney fled to France with his wife and family. This I thought was interesting because I know about it. I've told you over the years that I got the 5 Peaks Award for hiking up the San Bernardino, San Gorgonio Mountains. I have literally been to the top of the mountain. Mormons just don't want to believe. And so 3 hikers died hiking the San Bernardino Mountains. It would have been one of the ones that I hiked up. They died. Very tragic. So apparently they either stopped talking about the little boy that got lost in the mountains, or they didn't listen. Because I'm the legend down there. They made a legend out of me going to the top of the mountains and getting the 5 Peaks Award. That's me that they're talking about, if they talk about it. If they're still talking about it. And I didn't get lost. I knew exactly where I was. I watched as the lights drove away and left me behind. So I didn't get to go to Carl's Jr. It's a rare occasion when I get extra money. So I spent it on probably candy cigarettes at the 7-Eleven. Because the Asteroids game was always being used. Nonetheless. So, again, the church with Nigeria and Venezuela, also with Gaza. Seeing a pattern of practice here? There's now at least 3. I've been covering more than this. Nonetheless, Trump has put a complete halt to 37 terrorist organizations posing as a front for charities to fund Islamic terrorism in Gaza. The news is not reporting that correctly. Obviously, because they're terrorists. Take away all their licenses, Trump. Get them. He won't. Mormons are making sure Trump does not find out that he's a puppet for the church. And so the Mormon who went rogue and got 2 million views is again helping the church get away with their crimes. Come on. I have tried so many ways and methods to communicate with my government to warn them of the dangers of this church. Even evangelicals warning, your kingdom is not coming. It's the church's kingdom. You're their puppets. Nobody is listening to me. I am not popular. I am being shut down and censored by the Strengthening Church Members Committee. They want their kingdom back at all costs, despite all the test runs. If you wanted your kingdom back, you shouldn't have run a test run. You shouldn't have gotten leaked. Dear God, such incompetence. I mean, Lex Luthor was at least intelligent. So we're done. I just, you know, I see these things happening. I see what's coming. And yet I see Mormons and I just, how? Mormons don't even know to make a choice. They see my thumbnail pictures, the titles of my videos, and they avoid it. They don't get recommended. They get offended if they do see it. They come to attack me. We're normal, Travis! We need to make that as the name. Normal Mormons. We're done. 2-hour video, huh?